Naira Marley. He confirmed that he signed on his Malian record label. And according to him, he signed him on to produce 4 albums. But eventually, the 4 albums were not produced before he left. Because according to him, late Mohbad had disagreement with his manager, who happens to be his cousin. He also denied that he never threatened or molested the late Mohbad. He said he has been exonerated by the police, that the allegations that he molested him were just in people's imagination. He denied all allegations, but he confirmed that at a time, late Mohbad made a viral video where he alleged that whenever he dies, they should look in the direction of Naira Marley and some others. And he said, after making the video, late Mohbad subsequently apologized, that his father and his mother and some other people later apologized. Responding to a question why he thought late Mohbad would then say, if I die, go and hold Naira Marley responsible. He then replied that it may be as a result of the fact that late Mohbad was having some problems. That's why he made that kind of allegation, that maybe he has some psychological problem or he was intoxicated. That's why he made that kind of allegation. So in summary, even though he admitted that late Mohbad made some video accusing him that if he dies, they should look in his direction, he denied having a hand in the death of Mohbad. He also said there was no dispute between him and the late Mohbad, and they had no disagreement, and finally ended by saying that the last time he saw Mohbad was a year before his death, that he was not around 24 hours or 48 hours before his death. So that was his evidence today, the summary of his evidence. He said there was a dispute, and that the lawyer said he wrote repeatedly to Malian Records on the royalties, but he never got any response. And that the issue of the royalties is already a subject of litigation before the Federal High Court. In his own view, it was not correct, Naira Marley was not correct to say there was no dispute between him and late Mohbad. So that is the evidence today. What one can say about the evidence today is that at least we are now beginning to see clearly that all was not well between late Mohbad and Naira Marley's record label before he died. Times whether Naira Marley had a hand, directly or indirectly, in the death of late Mohbad. But you know, in a coroner inquest of this nature, what is important is to look at the sequence of events that eventually led to the death of the deceased. It's an investigative process designed to know the cause of death and the circumstances surrounding the death. But again, it became clear that we should also look into the direction of those who were with the late Mohbad before he died. All of the witnesses mentioned that, Naira Marley mentioned that, and even the lawyer to late Mohbad also mentioned that we should look at late Mohbad in order to find out actually what caused his death. And who were the people who were with him 24 hours and 48 hours before he died. I leave that to your conjecture. I don't want to speculate. I'm not the I cannot arrive at any finding. But what I've just tried to do is to give you an overview of what happened today. Police twice attempted to arrest unsuccessfully Sam Larry. So we now know that we need to bring Sam Larry here. We also need to bring the two doctors. There were two hospitals that attended to Mohbad before he died. The doctor in the first hospital, we have made application that it should be brought. This doctor in the second hospital, we have also made application that it should be brought so that they can tell us the state the late Mohbad was at the time they were brought to their facility. Of course, you know there's also an independent autopsy carried out. Now, the result of that independent autopsy is out. The pathologist conducted the autopsy. Autopsy is ready to come to court. So the court has directed that autopsy report should be forwarded to the chief coroner, while copies should also be forwarded to the court before the 11th of April. And the court also expressed concern about the address of the driver to late Mohbad, and that we should try to get his address before witness summons can be issued. So, in summary, 4 critical witnesses are about to be summoned. I mean, doctors in the 2 hospitals, the pathologist who conducted the independent autopsy, and of course the driver to late Mohbad. When we get to that bridge, we will cross it.
Orúkọ mi Barrister David Nwola, and mo ń ṣe aṣojú fún entertainment community ní ongoing coroner inquest tá à ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ yìí. And a ní 2 witnesses ní court. A ní Naira Marley, that's Abdulaziz Additional, and a tún ní the lawyer to the late Mohbad, that's Faladay, yes. So wọ́n wá sí court láti give account wọn on what they know and the facts, láti contribute facts tó ní nípa ikú Mohbad. Okay.
Bí ilé-ẹjọ́ ṣe lọ kó tó di pé wọ́n lọ fún ìdánidúró ráńpẹ́ tá a mọ̀ sí recess.
Okay.
Kí ni àwọn nǹkan tí àbájáde àtàwọn tó tẹ́ fojú?
Well, while we are still on the inquest, and as in evidence láti different witnesses, as in gather facts and certain facts náà la gather lẹ́ni from testimony tí Naira Marley ti fún wa ní court àti the ongoing testimony tí late Mohbad's lawyer náà fún wa ní court. But one common factor that dictate was the fact that because the lawyer to Mohbad, to late Mohbad, specifically stated that there was a dispute between the Malam record and the late Mohbad. While after he left the label, and Naira Marley also confirmed that Mohbad ní dispute pẹ̀lú his manager, that's Mohbad's manager. Eventually, I find out that the manager is Naira Marley's cousin. So, but Naira Marley himself said ní issue personal issue pẹ̀lú Mohbad. Pé after Mohbad ti kúrò, òun ti severe relationship pẹ̀lú Mohbad. And we were trying to inquire as to whether it was the dispute to jẹ́ kí òun severe relationship pẹ̀lú ẹ̀, ó dẹ̀ ní òun ní any dispute. However, inquiries were made as to the contract tó wà láàrin òun àti late Mohbad, which he mentioned that it was not a contract that was that was specific about the period, but it was a contract as to number of albums tí tó yẹ kí Mohbad ṣe fún and all. And he still mentioned that the royalties of Mohbad were still available and he was waiting for the outcome of the matter. so that the right persons, right representative of Mohbad will be able to claim the royalties that accrues to him.
ẹ jẹ́ kí mi béèrè ní Yorùbá pé
Okay.
àwọn ìbéèrè yín tí ẹ béèrè lọ́wọ́ Naira Marley virtually
Yes.
tí ẹ béèrè pé pé to some extent inú tèmi dùn fún àwọn ìbéèrè yẹn ǹjẹ́ lè bá wa sọ àwọn ìbéèrè yẹn àti pé kí ló prompt ìbéèrè yẹn.
Okay, ìbéèrè àkọ́kọ́ tí mo béèrè lọ́wọ́ Naira Marley ni wípé òun ní pé òun ò ní issue pẹ̀lú Mohbad, but cousin manager Mohbad tó jẹ́ cousin òun ló ní issue pẹ̀lú Mohbad. However, before then, òun ò explain pé there's a relationship pẹ̀lú òun àti manager Mohbad previously. Òun kàn paint it as pé manager Mohbad ni before we were able to discover, because I needed láti cast mind back see some of the statements tí Wunmi Cynthia submitted before the court to expressly state pé manager Mohbad nígbà yẹn tó jẹ́ Tunde was Naira Marley's cousin, and it was we needed to know, because while Naira Marley claimed that he had no personal issues with Mohbad and that it was his manager that had issues with Mohbad, we wanted to know the extent to which Naira Marley, had being the boss of the label, had tried to mediate, because of course Mohbad being his signee and Mohbad's manager being his cousin. And I remember that you cannot bear a question pé since Mohbad's manager was not part of the label, how did he meet? How was he able to come in contact with Mohbad? And Naira Marley said he met Mohbad in the company. Mohbad met him and decided to choose him as his manager, that he did not appoint a manager for Mohbad. Anyways, it was just to clarify the issues. Eventually, ìgbà tí lawyer Mohbad, late Mohbad, and came into the witness box, and he stated the fact that Mohbad specifically told him that there is a dispute pẹ̀lú òun àti Malian record, and which eventually it was when we inquired further, it had to do with àwọn unpaid royalties at the time Mohbad kúrò lọ́dọ̀ Malian record. But the evidence are still on. We are on recess, and more questions will be put across to the lawyer.
gẹ́gẹ́ bí time tí a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ bí over 3 hours.
Yes, please.
ǹjẹ́ à ń rí headway sí nǹkan tí ó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́yìn inú court.
Yes, facts. Àwọn facts kankan jáde, and those facts are what have been stated already. And these facts are useful facts for the coroner inquest láti lò to arrive at its just conclusion.
ọ̀rọ̀ kan wà tí Naira Marley sọ wípé tó bá lè re-arrest or re-invite
Okay.
àwọn tó wà nínú ilé pẹ̀lú Mohbad 48 hours trial is death, 24 hours trial is death. ǹjẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tó ní relevance ni.
Well, it's within the purview of the police, and of course, that is what would happen in any circumstance where investigation is to be made.
orúkọ yín ní ẹ̀kan sí.
Okay, orúkọ mi ni. Okay. Nurse. Well, as it stands, everybody tó bá wà involved to play a role or any role at any point in time during the period tí incident wáyé must come. The essence of the nurse coming, because eventually some revelations were made as to those who were with her, with him, or with her, with the nurse at the point in time táwọn tó ń administer àwọn treatment, àwọn first aid treatment tó administer yẹn. So, and there were facts that was revealed. No, àwọn facts kankan jáde as to what was administered and as to the side effect of àwọn kìíní tó administer. Well, and the fact remains that our testimony now was very essential láti also get àwọn facts kankan. It might not be a fact to relate more in context fẹ́ gbọ́, but ó máa relate nǹkan ó máa contribute more nǹkan tí findings corona inquest because since pé òun ti play role ó dẹ̀ state àwọn facts tó surround role tóun play àwọn kankan náà play so wọ́n state àwọn roles náà tó surround àwọn facts tó surround roles tó ń play náà so tá bá fi one or two tá bá add wọn sí papọ̀ we will be able to arrive at some certain facts tó wà uncontroverted and that is what transpired at the last adjourned date in court. I would have to check my records because honestly, every new proceedings has a new, we prepare ahead of time so that we are specific about witnesses. But I remember that for the nurse, I remember that I asked her a very salient question that had to do with diagnosis. And when the issue of diagnosis came about as to our participation and the medications that she administered, if she diagnosed before those were administered and all. There were several other questions that were asked. I would have to revert to my record, let me remember. I just don't want to guess. Okay, thank you. Yes, I think that was related to that question I asked. I asked her while she was administering, because she said, we won't administer 10 ml. And while she had administered 2 ml and he started having goosebumps and he wanted to throw up, she stopped. At that point in time, she stopped the medication as he dropped the injections down. So she said when she now left out pẹ̀lú DJ Bami láti lọ get nǹkan tó máa suppress àwọn reactions yẹn, òun fi medication yẹn sílẹ̀ síbi tóun ó filẹ̀ síbẹ̀ and she left other persons with the disease at that point in time. So I think that was part of the questions that were thrown to her. So she clarifies the hair on that too. Thank you so much. So my name is David Nowola for the entertainment community. Thank you.